gives us what, 30 days till Christmas. Oh my goodness. Time does fly, fly, fly. Let me do a sound check real quick, get that out of the way so I don't worry about it. Testing, testing, testing. Yes. Okay. You can hear me. Super. Well, it's a great day in the morning, isn't it? I just love Las Vegas. Love Las Vegas. Love the weather. Haven't turned the heat on yet, but it gets cold up here against this mountain. So it was like 62 in our bathroom this morning. That's a little chilly, Anyway, hopefully everybody is prepared for tomorrow. And John and I are going to go out to dinner instead of cooking because it's just the two of us this year. So that'll all be good. That'll all be good. Yeah, everybody's doing something else. And we don't have, John's son lives in Kentucky, so he's not coming here. So it's just the two of us, And we might take a friend with us. So we'll have fun. Last year we had a blast. My friend Sandy, I guess everybody in her family went different places. And so good morning, Bill from Advantage. How are you? So yeah, so we just had a blast last year. Anyway, we'll have fun this year. What's going on here? We have 27 days of inventory. We went down a little bit because we put 115 under contract yesterday and we closed 123. And that brings our average daily for November up to 146 sales a day. My gosh, you all are killing it. That's fantastic. Really, it's fantastic. And we didn't get as many listings, which I didn't expect because it's right before the holiday, but maybe next week we can up that number so we can get back to about a month of inventory, which is healthy. I think that's healthy. The median price is around 410, 400 to 410, depending on how you do the numbers. I like to think it's around 400, but other people think it's 407. Then I've heard somebody said it's 410. So lots of different things out there about the market. We sold a few more $1 million homes. The average now is a little bit more than 4.5. So, and we only have 500 available. So that market still, regardless of the holiday, is still very robust, as well as ours are under $1 million. And let's see, anything else here notable today? 45 non-owner occupieds for our renters coming to Vegas. That's a good thing. And then let's see here. There was, go away. Okay. There was a report this morning and it said after increasing by double digits in September, sales of new homes slowed significantly in October, rising by a modest 0.4% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 745,000. And that's from the U.S. Census Bureau and Department of Housing and Urban Development. And that was announced today. We are on the West Coast, so we get the East Coast news early. However, that modest increase in sales allows the number of new home sales to hit their highest level since April 2021. Sales of new single-family homes were still 23.1% down year over year from sales in October of last year. Let's see, we've got 745,000 that we've sold. New houses for sale on the market across the country. Now, this is the United States market, 389,000. And the median sales price is 407. And again, that's across the country. So I think ours, as we looked earlier, is a little higher. Excuse me. So we are doing well in all departments. I think Jimmy and I figured we've done about 80,000 sides this year so far, or more than that. Let's see, 46 times 2 is 92, plus 12 is 104. We've done 104 sides. That's a lot of commissions, everybody. Of course, we know the new home builders aren't all paying us. And if they are, they're not paying us as much. However, that's the way it's going. And so today I want to talk a little bit about this for just a second. Now, we've been talking about our business plans. And when you talk about your business plans, and I said you should all write a letter to yourself of where you are in 20 years or 15 years, whichever you're more comfortable with. And if you're only going to be in business for 5 more years, then do it for 5 years. But anyway, try to project yourself out there with, what success is going to help you with. Excuse me for a little nose running this morning. Anyway, yeah, the air out there. So 15 years, 20 years, just write a letter to where you are at that time, projecting yourself into that area of where you want success to take you and what it means to you. I mean, it's not all about the money. Brian Buffini has, you have your spiritual side of your life. You have your family side of your life. You have your business side of your life. You have your personal financial side of your life. And then also when it comes to personal, you have your physical side of life. So, and so I would use those things as a guideline as to, okay, where am I going to be with these 5 tenets of Buffini's? Because I think they pretty much address, life from all perspectives. I like that a lot. Okay, so the roadmap to retirement. Now, this is something for you, but it's also something, I'm going to put it in the group, something for you to download and give to, as an item of value. And then, of course, you can figure it out. Like, if you might not want to send this to millennials, or you might want to send it to millennials. And I remember when we hired Paul back, oh my gosh, it was in the early 2000s. And Paul said, I want to sell real estate so I can buy real estate, because he had a full-time job. And so we worked out a plan where he was going to buy a home every time he could put X amount of dollars down to where his payment, and he was very, very bright, where his payment was right around whatever his mortgage rent was. And if he had to add a little bit for taxes and insurance, he was okay with that. That was kind of like he thought as a savings account. So he proceeded to buy homes. And what he ended up doing, at first he started doing 30-year mortgages, and then he started doing 15-year mortgages as he was a very good marketer and a businessman. And I told you he had a full-time job, and he worked for Cirque du Soleil, by the way. So he was getting paid very well. So his plan was that at that time, his goal was to do $150,000 to $200,000 in annual income from his investments. So that was his plan. So you can have, if you're good with Excel or spreadsheet or just, a calculator, however you want to do it, or get a lender to help you, create a plan for millennials and say, look, if you start saving this much money, then you can buy investment homes, or you can sell the home you're in, assuming they have one. And then you can, with your savings, buy another home. And then your renter will pay for your home you moved from. And so a lot of agents did that. Then there was another plan that people did. A group of us, and I was included, John and I would get into these groups of people who wanted to buy land. Now, you can do it with land, or you can do it with a home. It doesn't matter. But you get a group together, people that you know, like, and trust, because you're going into kind of a partnership. And you have to lay everything out, like, what if this happens? What if that happens? I think that's the biggest challenge, is that you need to make sure that you have everybody's on the same page in the event that, we have to evict somebody or somebody destroys the house. You have to think of all those things, right? And you have to have reserves so that if people going in with you should have reserves. So anyway, so a group of you get together and you buy a house, and it grows in 5% a year is the average. We showed you that the other day. And you get the interest deduction. And so you can do it with 1 or 2 people, 3 or 4 people. We had a fellow, Don, who worked for us, and he used to network with the police department. And so he would get a group of policemen together, and they would buy investments, and which was really good because he laid the ground rules out. We have to have this much in reserves. These are the things that could go wrong. Murphy's Law, right? And then but this is the upside. And so everybody knew going in what was going to happen. And it was really, really good. Hi, Debbie from Advantage. Good to see you. I know Karen's way down there in Florida having a blast with her kids. That's so much fun. Yes, you all have a great leader, Bill and Deborah, or Debbie. Karen and I go way back. She worked for me for years, and just love her energy and her positive thinking, and everything about her is good. So anyway, let's look at this. So it doesn't matter who you're approaching, young or older. I know maybe like myself, I don't know, John and I are probably thinking about buying an investment property. Yeah, we do. Sorry, my nose is giving me fits today. Sorry. So yes, this is something that you can look at for yourself, look at for your friends, look at for your family, and perhaps some associates that you all want to go in and buy something together, but definitely your clients. Your clients should have a roadmap to retirement. And this is another way of showing people that you care. Define their goals, calculate their expenses, create the plan, and then make money when you retire. And so that's what it's all about. And then we put a little thing here that says, need a financial planner to help you sort out retirement? Give me a call. I have a great referral. So that's the thing you need to make sure that you have someone who is a good financial planner, because some people want to use a financial planner. And I personally never have. I have relied on my own education, my self-education on investments. And I always wanted to do real estate because that's the way I was raised. Yes, I won't tell a long story, right? All right, so now, this is an item of value. What we want to talk about, I'm going to hide this, put it down here, because let's do a little recap today. Buyer transaction list. Now, I'm following this up because we did our business plan. So now let's get down to the nitty-gritties here a little bit. This is like a broad brush, but still, it's things to think about. The buyer transaction list, and this is just a suggested sample, with a few items, but you have to build your own working checklist, and that should include anything that we require in Nevada, which the division requires. Certain things we maintain for 5 years, and then the broker that you work for. They may require other things. But the buyer transaction checklist, I mean, these are really basic, but it's amazing how many, I've interviewed a couple brand new agents lately, and they're looking for things like this. You prepare the offer, the buyer signs the agency disclosure, the purchase agreement, you open escrow, you inspect the property, you order the appraisal. Those are real basic. And then you email your home insurance info to the buyer, because a lot of all of a sudden the buyer says, oh, I need insurance. Do you have somebody? Of course you do. You better. And then you make sure that everything's going to close timely. All the disclosures are completed. You do the walkthrough. The final loan documents get signed, and hopefully you go to escrow. And this is like really basic. But when you're starting out with, let's say, a tenant, or, the first time home buyer, the millennial or whatever, just say, this is the broad brush. And there are different tasks behind each one of these items that I will walk you through as we get to these. But Jimmy Dagg always says that all hurt comes from violated expectations. And if people don't know what to expect, they get a little angry or upset, or they might feel like maybe this isn't the right agent for me because, gee, they didn't tell me this and they should have told me this. Well, here you have it in a nice little something that you can just hand them. And then we also have the other buyer, I think of the 17-step buyer's checklist that I'll find that today and maybe post it again. I know it's in the file section of the group, but I'll post it again because I think you should also use that, because that's a little bit more detailed than this one is. Then we have top tips for unexpected extras for buyers. The home inspection. what you can do to help. And we talked in our business plan about customer service. So if you bring donuts or pizza or something, for your home inspection, you don't want to be there during it, but perhaps your buyer does. So, just bring some snacks or something, because it takes a couple hours. And then after the inspection, repairs are agreed to, give the buyers some moving boxes and tape, right? That doesn't cost a lot of money. We have a seller who's moving to, we sold her and her husband a house, oh my gosh, in the 90s. And it's in Sun City, and her husband passed away. So we're taking her boxes every once in a while, because she's going to list her house in the first part of the year and then move back to California where her kids are. So, and she's a very well-to-do person, but it doesn't matter. People, they love when you do things like this. I mean, this woman could probably buy who knows what, but she's got lots of money, I'm sure. But, just little things make a big difference. And then when the house closes, you want to gift, if it's a buyer, you want to gift wrap the front door. I love when agents do that. They roll out the red carpet. And then one of the things that John and I always did is, when we sold a home, we'd always bring Kentucky Fried Chicken, or we'd have pizza, because moving is a chore. And you just want to get it done. And sometimes you just don't want to stop and go get lunch or something. So we would always take people lunch. And they loved that. They really did. And then some of our agents, they would go a step farther. Once they were moved in, and their first night that they were going to have dinner at their home, they said, "We're going to bring you dinner." And generally they would bring something like spaghetti and meatballs, or, something that they prepared that was easy to prepare, and they took a home cooked dinner, so that the first meal they had in their new home was from their real estate agent, their realtor extraordinaire, right? Anyway, and then a month after closing, they would say, "Now that the dust has settled, we'd like to treat you to a home cleaning, so you can really, feel comfortable and enjoy your home." Now, I don't know that I'd wait a month, but I'd keep tabs on my people. But there's a great cleaning company that does great carpet service called COIT Cleaning. And they used to be MV Cleaning. And it was great to use them to go and clean up the house for everybody. Because after you move, and, it's just nice that somebody thinks of cleaning your carpets, or because you've had movers in and out, or people coming in and out, and little things like that make a big, big difference. So let's move on to sellers. So moving day, bring some pizza, bring some fried chicken, bring something. And if the sellers have young kids, give them the Bernstein Bears Moving Day book. It's really cute. And then for sellers moving out of the area, bring them a travel kit with their favorite snacks, drinks, and pet treats. That's really, really nice. I know Sarah in our office gave Nikki, and her husband and their dog Nash, a basket for each one of them of things that they would enjoy, because it was a 2 or 3 day drive. How nice was that? And much appreciated. And then when the house closes, you put a ribbon on the door for the new buyer. I don't know how I feel about that one, because I think the selling agent should do that, but it's your buyer, so it's up to you. And then 6 months after closing, tell them, "We hope you're loving your new home, and it's a good time for a window cleaner to stop by and wash all your windows on us." These are little things that you probably in your day-to-day travels don't think about. But these are really nice ways of taking care of your clients and focusing on the mind and attitude of the heart. And this is customer service. And we've talked about this many times. Now, we're going to move a little quickly today. I just love real estate. I really do. So let's see. I'm done with that one. Let's go here. We're going to now go to sellers. The seller checklist. This is a suggested sample, with just a few of the many items to build your own working checklist, which includes anything. Again, we went over this a little bit. So That's the transaction. Now, what are the essentials of a successful listing presentation? I have so many agents that are asking me all the time about a listing presentation, and I say, well, you're welcome to mine. You can have the one that we use, but then also you want to put yourself into it too. And I've modified Buffini's, and I'm going to show you his and download it to the group so you have a place to start. I call it the seller presentation more than a listing presentation. I'm presenting to the seller, so I like to use that verbiage. So anyway, it's essential to conduct it, the presentation, to show the seller that you are the right person for the job. So here's 3 things that we want to talk about. Number 1, preparation. The most important thing that you can do to ensure successful listing appointment is to have a pre-listing phone conversation, and I love this. I think this is so important. So you want to say, gee, Mary, how come you're moving? Thought you loved this area. And they say, well, I'm going to go back to live with my kids, or like our seller is. She's going to go back home and live near her kids. And then you say, well, do you have a specific time frame you'd like to move by? Well, and our friend said, well, I don't really want to move during the holidays. Okay, fine. But I think January, February time frame would be good for me. Well, that gives you, you start that conversation, and then is there anything I can do to help you? And that's why we bought boxes up to our friend. So again, you open these doors of opportunities for yourself. And number 3, what would you say your home is currently worth? Well, when we ask our friend that question, she says, oh, a house just sold down the street for $1 million. Yes, it did, but it has more square footage than your home, and it has a pool. So you need to manage expectations. All hurt comes from violated expectations. So right off the bat, you want to have this conversation. And we said, yeah, but that house has got a few more things than yours does. So maybe yours is, in the $800,000 range. So we set her expectations. We already knew what the comp said it was worth, but we always like to find out what they think. And it's very important if you think about it psychologically. You want to know what they think, because then you can manage their expectations. And then number 4, do you owe anything on the property? That's an important thing, because guess what? You want to do a net sheet, right? And then what are some of the special features of your home? And this, of course, is a perfect time to say, we're going to come up and see, if there's anything that we need to do or help you with to get your home ready. And we have some time, so that'll be good. And we did that. And then we found out that the lady needed somebody to help her figure out what she wanted to throw away, what she wanted to take with her, and what she wanted to leave in the home to sell, which, of course, that opened another door. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Because sometimes there's stuff you have to tell people, I think you just might want to give it away. When people coming in and out of your house, there's just a lot of negatives. And especially if you can afford it. And her furniture was, older. She did have a couple nice pieces that we would probably invite the new buyer if they wanted, because it fit the floor plan so beautifully. But anyway, so you have all those types of things. And you know what you're doing through all of this, everybody? You're creating that relationship. And then number 6, is the interior in good shape? And what enhancements or improvements have you made to the property? We had to tell our friend, you got to take all this stuff off of the shelves. Her top shelf of her kitchen just had so many things on it. And not that she loved it, and I knew it was her taste and the things she loved. I said, but let somebody else come in and see what they might want to put on that top shelf. And so that's always, for me, it's always a delicate conversation, because if you walked into my house, John and I, when we travel, we buy something from wherever we go. So the things that we have sitting around our house are special, or it's something that somebody gave me. If behind me I have an orchid somebody gave me, and then on the table I have a little Christmas duck that my friend Joan gave me. So the things that we have, if I have to take them down and my home's not going to sell for a while, gee, I'm not going to like living here. And that's what goes through their minds. So you have to be very delicate with that and figure it out. Sometimes what we've done, I think in a home we sold a couple months ago, we had everybody take everything off the shelves and off the counters and said, we're going to stage it for pictures and a walkthrough with a video, and then if we have open houses, this is the things that you will have to remove from your shelves and your counters, and your nightstand and your kitchen and your bathroom. And so then they say, well, we don't want to have an open house, right? Yeah, but I'll help you. And you can always do that. You can always say, you just tell me, where to put them and I'll remove them and put them back after the open house. Sometimes you have to do that stuff. But the answers to these questions give you so much valuable information on how motivated they are. Like she's motivated. She's not in a hurry, but she's motivated. And then, what are the specific things about the home itself that maybe you should paint the walls? A gallon of paint costs $20, but it's worth 1,000 or 5,000 on the walls. That was always a good line I liked. And then the ideas of what the sellers think their home is worth. I told you, we went over that. That's very important. And then you're ready to do your research and prepare, what the market research says. So, and like Jimmy Degg says, he likes to use the word market research. He likes to use the presentation, your home presentation, or your marketing presentation, even not necessarily listing, because the word agreement is better than contract. We have words that are better than other words. So just keep that in mind when you're talking to them. So number 2, the listing appointment. Okay, so now you've got all the information that you need. Maybe you've stopped by like we did, and then you do the actual appointment. And so you want to, first thing, of course, Aaron Taylor says you always take a pie. I always know when Aaron is going on listing appointments because he's got like pies in his office and what have you. He always takes a pie. And then you want a tour of the home. Maybe they want to sit down and have some pie first. That's all. Breaking bread is fantastic. And then you want to ask specific questions as you tour that home, because you want to know as much as possible of what the seller thinks of their home, and you want that information transferred to you. And one of the questions that I don't see on this particular list is, I always ask people, why did you buy this home? Why did you pick this home? What was special about this home? And it's amazing, what people will tell you. And sometimes you can use that in your marketing because it's maybe something that you just didn't think about. And then be enthusiastic about the upgrades and their personal touches. Give them your market research. It says competitive market analysis, which I think is too much. We just say, here's the market research. And then you present the price, like here's what the comps say, and you do it confidently. And there's different schools of thought on this as well, but still it's going to come up. And sometimes, like, you've already asked them what their home is worth during the conversation, and that's good. So you've already kind of prepared them for, well, this is what the market says, and based on your upgrades and things, this is what we think. What do you think? I think it's always good to get their opinion about what your opinion is, and then explain, how the market works, and then kind of put them in the buyer's shoes, which is, I like that exercise. Refocus the client on their goals. So you want to be out of here by February, and so these are the things that we're going to do, and we'll get this, maybe put it on coming soon. So if we're going to do that, then we might want to paint first. So all these kinds of conversations you're going to have, and they're very, very important. And then you refocus on their goals, how they're going to successfully leave their home, and then educate them on how the commissions are paid and the value of your negotiating ability in the sale of their home. And I'm going to, there's a commission, Tom Ferry has about a half hour on commissionectomy, and I'm going to play that. Maybe next week we'll listen to that because it's really, really good, and you will be amazed if you have seen all these. If you've heard all the things that Jeff Mays says, and he's the one that Tom is talking to. He's a broker owner. He's a coach. He's just a great realtor, and they've come up with some things that I've never heard of before. And I don't know if you have, but we'll enjoy listening to them. If you've heard them before, you'll hear them again. But I would guarantee you haven't heard all of them. And because everybody wants to cut our commission, right? There's a lot of different ways to approach that. And so I'm not going to go over it today, but we're going to go over it next week. And it's about a half hour. So if you can't watch it all at once, you can always go back, watch the first half, and then watch the second half next week. Okay. Then outline your marketing plan. Wow. I think I would do my marketing plan before I did my commission thing. I think I would change this up a little bit. So you see, everybody has their ways of doing things. Our marketing plan, it's the most important thing to me is how am I going to market your home? The second most important thing is how am I going to negotiate to get you the highest price in the shortest amount of time? So those two things to me are most important. Then number 3, before you leave, of course, you say, based on everything you've heard, are you ready to move forward today? And then you can go over, like there's 4 points, and I'm going to go over those 4 points next week because I want you to use those as highlights of your presentation. So even if you need a few days to think it over, make sure that you ask them for their thoughts. However, one of the things that we've learned is that you leave the listing document there. And you say, let's just go over it. And I've done this. And 9 times out of 10, it works. Once it didn't work and I was blown away. And I didn't get the listing either. But that happens. But anyway, I go over all the different points of the listing. How this protects you, what this means. Starting them to think about, do they want to have a lockbox? Do they want us to show up for every showing? Different things that you find out a lot. The more you can find out about them, the more successful you're going to be in getting the listing. Oh dear, I'm running over time today. And then write a personal note right when you're in that driveway. Write them a personal note right then and there, and thank them for their time and the listing. And you're going to get started to work right away. And then follow up tomorrow and start telling them where you are in the process. So we've some mistakes we've made in the past. A friend wanted us to list our house. Well, so we didn't think we needed to do a listing or a marketing presentation. Well, we didn't, and we didn't get the listing. And I guarantee you that was why. No matter who it is, you need to treat them just like a stranger, like you would just treat a stranger or a referral that somebody gave you. Every person should be treated the same way when it comes to listings. And I don't know how my dogs got out this morning. Probably because I'm running over time. Okay, one of the things that I wanted to show you as well that I'm going to give you today. Now, let's see if we can make this happen. You go over here. This is a home marketing plan, and this is kind of like what we call ours, the marketing plan. I'm going to go over here now to where it is and show you. I think it's about 10 pages, so hang on with me. Okay, let me make sure you can see this on the screen like I'm trying to show it to you. Yep. Facebook has changed a little bit. So here we go. Yes. Okay. So, and it has a place up here for your name, your information, your phone number, your email address. And then the next thing is marketing plan for your home. And it says, marketing matters. Competitively price your home, advise on property enhancements for optimal viewing, prepare and submit accurate information. We used to always have the seller sign the MLS once we put it in there because occasionally people make mistakes. Could you believe it? Yes. And then proactively promote the property to your database. Let me make sure you can hear me. Yes. Okay. Create maximum exposure for the property, network with the best agents, and tap into the national referral network that you have. And then the next few pages are going to outline what you can expect from me on your home selling journey. Hold please, you kids, for heaven's sakes. I will ensure this process is as smooth as possible for you. And then in-depth market analysis. And again, we say market research. And this is so important because, like the lady down this, our seller said, but the one down the street listed for $1 million. Then you have to explain to them why. And then anything that they have to do to enhance their property. This is a little checklist. And then we have the clear and open communication that you are going to, what you're going to do. Again, manage your expectations. And you have to keep the lines of communication open to ensure that they're comfortable and confident with all parts of the transaction. And, you know, I like I like telling people that what's going to happen next. Call them and say, hi, Sally, or hi, Mary. Just want you to know what's going to happen next. We got the thing in the MLS. Thank you for, the pictures came out beautifully. I'm going to bring you over I'll show you the pictures. So you just need to tell them it's going to go on the market. So be prepared, because we're going to have some people that want to see it, and we'll be with you every step of the way, however you navigate that. And then negotiating and structuring the sale. You know, when buyers come along, this is what you can do. You're going to carefully review and present all offers for their consideration. And then you're going to qualify the prospective buyers and research their lending options to increase the likelihood that they can secure financing. Now, this is something that you're going to want to keep in touch with your buyer's agent about, because you don't do that. But this, you're going to make sure that you tell the seller that you're going to be on top of the agent representing the buyer to make sure that everything's going smoothly. And then you want to make sure that when you sign the purchase agreement, that they have strong terms and a solid transaction that hopefully will close on time without any surprises. And a lot of that is you talking to that listing agent. The selling agent, the buyer's agent, so that like a resume of the buyer. I know we can't do love letters. They're saying that's not fair to all parties. I don't know if I agree with that, but you can do a resume. Like, here's my buyer. Did you do a resume of your buyer, Mr. Buyer's agent? That might help find out, if for you and for our seller, how solid this transaction is going to be. So, because amazingly, not all buyers agents know their buyers inside and out. And then here's the complete transaction management list. So these are the things like that we want to make sure that the sellers know that we're going to do. And this is we've integrated parts of this into our own listing agreement. So let me go back to here. And I'm going to put that in the, went the wrong way. I'm going to put that, there we go. I'm going to put that in the group along with some of the other information I shared with you today, because I want you to farm and get listings. I know your broker does. I know you want to. We need listings. We need listings. We can't sell homes without listings. I love you all. I hope you have a tremendous day. It's going to be crazy busy out there, so be careful, and have a wonderful day tomorrow. I'll check in with you, give you some stats, make it short and sweet tomorrow, maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then I'm going to relax and have a wonderful day with my kids and my Rocky and my Be Happy and my wonderful husband, John. We're just going to enjoy the day and be grateful and make some phone calls to some friends and then go out to dinner. So life is going to be wonderful. And then we have crazy Black Friday coming. Oh my goodness. Right. Oh, Anyway, this is the beginning of a busy, the next 35 days are going to be crazy busy.